Up in the ring, Boyd Pierce is ready to introduce this event, so let's give him the opportunity.
This event, 2 out of 3 falls with a 1-hour time limit for the Texas Heavyweight Championship. Introducing first, corner to my right at 220 pounds, the sensational star from Mexico City, the challenger for the title, El Sicodelico. And across the ring, the Texas Heavyweight Champion from Houston, Texas at 230 pounds, gorgeous Gino Hernandez. Your referee, Bronco Lubitsch. In his corner, Playboy Gary Hart.
So, gorgeous Gino Hernandez, in defense of his Texas State Heavyweight title, takes on a Mexican masked star whose claim to fame is the fact that he is the brother of Mil Mascaras, the brother of Dos Caras, and they are a trio who are all masked in the ring, as some of you may or may not know, but they are featured in all the Mexican publications as a fine wrestling trio, and Mexican wrestling fans are well acquainted with the Sicodelico, and Texas fans are even more well acquainted with Gino Hernandez. So the bell for the start of the first fall, and Sicodelico would like nothing better than to be able to go back to his brother Mil Mascaras in Mexico and say, I have the Texas State title belt. And Gino made a couple of fast moves there, looking to take Sicodelico by surprise, but whether he will or he won't, we're not certain. Sicodelico knows enough about wrestling. Whoa, crotch hold, lift, slam, kick, and works both ways. And driving feet. So Sicodelico over the top rope and on the floor, and Gino saw him coming and got a move on. Well, it's a long ways down. Sicodelico is not a big man. He is stocky and he is muscular, and like his brother Mil, he is in shape. That mask of his with the circles on it, the psychedelic flavor for Sicodelico. So Gino watches him closely. He's aware that this stance of his gives him the opportunity to go in a number of directions. And as Sicodelico comes up, he's got a full Nelson, but Gino's strength, Gino's size helps to break it, and Sicodelico comes up for another answer. Surfboard hold. The foot in the back keeps it solid, but you can't get anywhere with it, and you can't stand on one foot for the rest of the night. So, and Sicodelico knows it. A little power, quick power. Oh. Now the hold gets a little bit more pressure. We still call it a surfboard hold. The pull at those arms and the effort by Sicodelico to follow him, but again, it's hard to follow him by that one foot. So Gino now watching for an opportunity, and that was the opportunity for the right hand, but that was all. Here comes Gino looking for a dive. Whoa! The agility of a Mil Mascaras, and Sicodelico not only avoided them, but flipped them, and well done. So Gary Hart on the outside, coaching his meal ticket and giving him a word of advice. Gino is not, I don't believe, dependent on Gary Hart's advice. He could be dependent on some of the other things that Gary Hart always offers on the outside of the ring, and that is the chance to distract arm stretch. And Sicodelico comes out the reverse way and gets a leg. He's looking to tie him up. Well, I'll be doggone. I don't know. He's going to need a rule book and a set of diagrams to find out how to get out of this thing. Early in Gino's career, he spent a number of months in Mexico, wrestling from one end of the country to the other and wrestling all types of Mexican stars. So he is no stranger to the Mexican style of wrestling, which leads from one hole to another and keeps the man confused sometimes and keeps looking for the logical link. Whoa. He's finding right now that Sicodelico has the answers to a lot of things. It's trouble for Gino Hernandez, and there he goes over the top rope again and down to the floor. That two-footed leap is takes him a long ways down. Come to think of it, I've seen wrestlers who have taken a dive over that top rope to hit an opponent, sometimes through the ropes to hit an opponent. And I remember well Wild Bill Longson, who was one of the roughest of champions, who used to escape punishment by hurtling over that top rope and down onto the floor. Sicodelico, he goes after his opponent. He's not trying to escape. So the 5-minute mark has been called, and Sicodelico catches fists and feet punishment. Masked Man has been out in the sun. There is no question about that. He's well tanned. And the drive across the ring, and he is splashed on the concrete. So he gets 20, and Gino is not likely to give him that much. You see him in there, but it breaks the count, but it also gives Gino the opportunity to lay one in there. And Sicodelico tried to protect himself that time as he went into the ring post. He was able to get his head out of the way, but he was not able to protect that shoulder. And again, as he runs him into it, he gets the same kind of punishment. And Gino's leading his own cheering section, but nobody's cheering. So he gave a cheer and nobody came. So Sicodelico is on the floor, a little unsteady on his feet as he rises up. And Gino is hollering to him to come back up in the ring so he can get at him. And Sicodelico is smart enough to not he got on that rope, but he fell into the ring, and this may be a bad spot for Sicodelico. He was trying there to show that he had all the strength that he needed, and instead he hit that top rope and took a nasty kind of fall into the ring. And now he introduces Gino Hernandez to the turnbuckle, and Gino is trying to keep from being driven in there. And so we've got Masked Fury taking on after Gino Hernandez, setting him up, and whoa, did you see that? Well, I'll be doggone. He jumped up on that second rope.
8 minutes, 6 seconds, the challenger, El Sicodelico.
He jumped on the second rope in the corner and then leaped from there up onto the top rope and then flew off. Great move, great move. I keep learning things all the time. I have never seen anybody do that. But Gary Hart is in there. He has never seen anybody do it either, evidently. But now he can brag about the fact that he has, and so will I. We'll be back here in a moment for the second fall of this battle for the Texas State title here at the Sam Houston Coliseum in Houston, Texas, and we are ready for the action right after this word.
I know about the kind of pain you get just working for a living. But I can make that pain go away with almost no work at all. Because I take stand-back powders. Stand-back gets to work fast. Starts fighting pain and fever and even inflammation real quick. When my mama and daddy were coming along, stand-back was all a lot of folks took for pain relief. It worked fast then, it worked fast now. Try stand-back powders. It's an idea whose time has come back.
Well, Sicodelico is anxious to get at Gino Hernandez, or he wants Gary Hart out of the ring. He wants to continue this, and the crowd here has been screaming in support of the man in the mask. Gary Hart has been trying to protect
30 seconds.
He has been trying to protect the kneeling Gino. Gino, again, trying to get those fans to scream in his on his behalf, rather, and the bell has not yet sounded. Sicodelico wanted this thing to start, but he didn't want it to start this way. You can see now, as he absorbs the punishment, that Gino was able to take him by surprise, and the man in the mask is in trouble. Gino used his time during the intermission period well, and he came out strong after losing that first fall to that surprising dive off the top rope. Now Sicodelico is the man on the floor. He has been driven into a chair by Gino Hernandez, and he is sprawled on the cold Coliseum concrete as Gino now, in spite of the fact that he is one fall behind, starts to exhibit that arrogance that is so typical of him. There's Sicodelico looking for the way he can get into this ring without problem. Hey! Man, he came in there full of fight. He came in full of fight. And you talk about surprises, he has come up with a few good ones. Oh, what a hard landing, a solid landing. And here he goes now, going for the Boston Crab, and he could force a fall out of Gino Hernandez here as he leans into the hold, but he hasn't got Gino's back bent far enough. He's trying, but the ropes are interfering. Gino was halfway out the ropes, and that called for the break from referee Bronco Lubitsch. So Gino now commiserating with, that's a touching scene, commiserating with Gary Hart, who evidently has been reading that everybody should be hugged a couple of times a day. In this particular case, there was no doubt that Gino was looking for solace. And he uncorks now, gets that limber leg of his into the masked Mexican, and the grip now is on the trapezius muscles, this time from the back. You see the grip where it takes place, and he's, oh, he come up and clapped him alongside the ears. Good way, good. You catch both those ears at the same time, and you're going to trap a lot of air in there. And Hart's complaining about it on the outside. I don't know what he can complain about. He hit him with his forearms. And Gino taking advantage of his extra weight. You see him now as he argues with the referee, kneeling across the throat of Sicodelico. He dropped him on the top rope, tried to hit his throat, hit him on the side of the neck. Since the ring ropes would change from rope to cable, they makes an awful lot of difference in the things that you can do in that ring and the things that happen. He's looking for a back body drop. He lifts him and he drops him. And here comes Gino Hernandez, ready to drive out on Sicodelico. He hits him, he covers him. There is the fall. There is the fall, the equalizing fall as...
4 minutes, 11 seconds, the champion, Gino Hernandez.
Gorgeous Gino takes the fall by his weight. Well, I'll be darned. And we tell you that we'll be back here in a moment, right after we have this word from the studio.
You know I'm not a fancy chef, but sometimes I do get to fooling around in the kitchen. Right here I'm cooking up some blue ribbon sausage. It's my favorite. It's easy to prepare and you can make it so many ways as a meal or as a snack. And it's so delicious. And I keep Blue Ribbon's free recipe book close by. It's got more than 20 ways to prepare Blue Ribbon smoked sausage. Next grocery shopping day, get Blue Ribbon sausage to help you make it. It's delicious.
Well, Sicodelico has not had a moment's peace since we left him. The 2-minute rest period is generally a means of recuperation. But with being bugged by Gino on one side and Hart on the other, there is still a minute left in this. Why, he has not had a chance to recover as Gino had after he lost the first fall. Now each man has one fall in this Texas title match, and the man in the mask is on his feet. There are 30 seconds remaining, and Gary Hart leaves the ring. There is Sicodelico as he tries to get that arm working. So 15 seconds to go, and Gino wants to be in an advantageous position when that bell is about to ring. You see him here following one, and he beat the bell by a second. I'll be doggone. He'll take every second of advantage. He's trying to set Sicodelico up and set him up and knock him down. He did. Now he's going for the mask. As he goes after it, he tries to do something that the brothers of Mil Mascaras and Mil himself take great pride in keeping, and that is the keeping of the mask. He's got it up and just up almost past the mouth. I think he had his teeth hooked into it that time, and as Gino keeps pulling at it, Sicodelico is fighting to keep him from doing it. And there is the effort now as they roll through the ropes and off onto the floor. He did this to roll out of the grip of Gino Hernandez. Now Sicodelico using the outside of the ring as a means of staying out of his grip. But his laces are not yet tied, but he doesn't have time to tie the laces. And the Sicodelico has his temper raised, and as he moves in, he starts after Gino Hernandez. You see him now driving that shoulder in. Not too effective, but he was trying something, and that's the main thing. Back body drop, and this one was effective. Here he goes now for a drive in there that he is able to hit Gino with the elbow. Now he's going for an airplane spin. Yes, got the fireman's carry, and he's using it as a means of airplane spin, and he's still going, and Gino now Sicodelico himself has come up there with the bad case of the dizzies. So he's after the drive into the turnbuckle. There, well, he went after it. Oh, bad break. Bad break. That's the way he won the first fall. I tell you, that's a spectacular move, but when it misses, like all spectacular moves, they have their drawbacks if they don't hit. And here's the fall. There's one, there's two, and Gino has snatched him up. He has just grabbed him by the mask to, now he's trying to make sure of it. Sicodelico tried to get out of the way. He didn't succeed. And again, Gino snatched him up instead of scoring the pin. And we've got the disqualification. And here comes Mark Lewin. And Mark Lewin has evidently been waiting for that bell to ring so that he could come in here and get after Gino Hernandez. And oh. Gary Hart just came off with his shoe and blasted the head of maniac Mark Lewin. So Lewin's fans start barking in riotous fashion here as he tries to egg Gino Hernandez and Gary Hart back up into that ring.
Pussycat! Come on, you pussycat!
He has a bone to settle with this pair, and he is going to do it whenever and wherever he sees them. Gino Hernandez wants to come back up in that ring, and the Hart is trying to teach him the better part of valor and head him up the aisle. There it is. We'll be back here in a moment after we have this word from the studio.